What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video. As you can see from the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, trying to expose some of the false narratives out there about how he couldn't win without Scottie Pippen, or how he didn't win without Scottie Pippen, while other players like LeBron James did win without Dwayne Wade. I'm going to show you why that's just a bad false narrative and just a bad faith argument to use when it comes to the GOAT debate and when it comes to Michael Jordan. We're going to do a little deep dive into that. But before we get into it, if you haven't already subscribed, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you can catch every video when it comes right away when it premieres, or you can also catch our lives on the Men Down podcast when we had the full panel. I get tired of seeing things like this, right? So here's a meme. It's just a bad faith argument. Like I said before, Jordan couldn't win without Pippen. Number one, it's kind of hard to win without someone that you played with virtually your whole career, right? So let's get that out of the way already. And then on the other hand, we won't talk about Kobe, but we'll talk about LeBron James, because those are mostly the fans that like to bring things up like this. And they keyed in on just one player, which is Dwayne Wade, which is when the bad faith argument already comes in, because he only played with Wade for 4 years. So out of 19 years, we're going to isolate 4 years and say, but he did all these other things without Wade outside of those 4 years. Bad faith argument. You know, you got 12 years of Jordan and Pippen together, or maybe 10 years. 10 years of Jordan and Pippen together, and they won 6 rings. And then you got 4 years with LeBron and Wade, and they won 2 rings. I like the 6 a little bit better. The 6 out of 10 a little bit better than the 2 out of 4. So that's the type of meme that kind of motivated me to want to do this video. One thing I will say before I move forward: Scottie Pippen, it was a lot of people. I mean, you might get a unanimous or close to unanimous vote of people saying Scottie Pippen may have been the greatest number 2 or the greatest Robin that basketball have ever seen, right? And I agree with that. He was a great Robin. So the term Robin, or the term number 2, is synonymous with Scottie Pippen. So I say that to say this: every superstar like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or Kobe Bryant, they're not going to win without a Scottie Pippen, not Scottie Pippen himself, but a Scottie Pippen as a title, or a number 2, or a Robin. Everyone needs a Scottie Pippen. I want to say the only superstar I can remember winning without a bona fide number 2 in his prime may have been Hakeem. I know his second ring he won with Drexler, but his first ring, I think his second best player may have been Vernon Maxwell, maybe. I mean, he had some young bucks. He had Sam Cassell as a rookie, Robert Ory as a rookie. So I wouldn't even, that's before their prime. But Kenny Smith, maybe. Those were his second best player. And then Dirk Nowitzki did it as well. Of course, he had Jason Kidd and Jason Terry, but Jason Kidd was way past his prime, so I wouldn't say he was his Scottie Pippen, and I wouldn't say Jason Terry was either. But nonetheless, for the most part, everyone has a Scottie Pippen. So I want to say, outside of those 2 guys, Dirk and Hakeem, no one has won without a Scottie Pippen. And to say that LeBron has won without Wade is kind of misleading, because when he did win, he had a Scottie Pippen. So let me break it down team by team. First stint in Cleveland, I don't think he was able to find his Scottie Pippen. That's why he left Cleveland, because he couldn't never get his Scottie Pippen to help him get over the hump. So he left and he joined Wade in Miami, and Wade became his first Scottie Pippen. he was a number one that was going to act as his number two. And then just for overkill, he grabbed another Scottie Pippen from Toronto and Chris Bosh to act as his number three. So, I mean, he just went overboard with it. So he had a Scottie Pippen. I won't even get on Bosh. I just talk about Wade. He had a Scottie Pippen in Miami. Then he left and got a Scottie Pippen in Cleveland with Kyrie. And then he left and went to LA and got another Scottie Pippen in AD. Right. All these guys were bona fide number ones. Right. They were number ones that he got to play his Scottie Pippen. He didn't win without any Robin by his side, to go with him. But let me break it down and show you why his grind was a little bit less than what Michael Jordan's grind was. I think Michael Jordan's grind was a little harder. Let me explain. All right. So breaking down why Michael Jordan's grind was a little harder, because he got Scottie Pippen as a rookie, coming in, averaged 7.9 points in his rookie season. And the next year he doubled it and went up to 14. And then by his third year, he was an all-star averaging 16, right? If you go down to 93-94 season, which is highlighted in red, that was Scottie Pippen's best season of his career at averaging 22 points a game. So that's what Scottie Pippen was bringing to him on the offensive end. First and foremost, he got him as a rookie, and Scottie Pippen had to develop before they were ready to go out and compete with the teams that was at the top, like Boston and Detroit. You know, he had to wait for his number two to develop. So you give me a rookie number two, and he develops, and now we're ready to battle, right? Then you go on, and they win 6 rings, right? Then you get all the way to 97-98 season, with Scottie Pippen is 32. If you look at it, 97-98 season, he's 32. He played only 44 games that year. Remember, if you watch The Last Dance, that's the year he decided to get his foot or his ankle surgery, and he sat out all those games. And then he came back right before it was ready to rev up for the playoffs. Michael Jordan had to figure out how to win without his number two. He had to turn a non-offensive player and Dennis Rodman to someone that was going to help him get a good playoff spot so they can make a run. That's almost like saying Steph would have to do something like that and make Draymond Green his other option on offense, like telling Draymond Green, "Oh, I need more offense from you." That's pretty much what Rodman had to do. He had to give him more than offensive end, which is something that wasn't really his game. So he had to do that in his last season when Scottie was 32. They still won a ring, and he still told ownership that I will retire if you don't bring Scottie Pippen back. He still wanted to play with an old beat up Scottie Pippen who had surgery that year, and then who back gave out on him in the Utah Jazz Finals series. Like his body was just breaking down, and he still said, "I want to go to war with that aging number two." Right? He wasn't looking elsewhere on other teams and saying, "Let me find a younger number two so I can keep my championship run going." Right? He was ready to go and fight for number 7 with Scottie Pippen if the Bulls organization would have brought them back. They didn't bring all of them back. I think it was Phil that they saying that they wasn't going to bring back. And of course, they also was looking for trades for Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan had to block a Scottie Pippen for Tracy McGrady trade, and just to keep Scottie Pippen around. So all that stuff was going on. He still wanted to go with Scottie Pippen. That's the point I'm trying to make, which is a little bit different than what LeBron did. Let's look at how LeBron did it. Here's D Wade's career. And as you can see, he didn't get D Wade as a rookie. D Wade emerged as a young star into an all-star, won a championship, and then had his best statistical year in 2008-2009, averaging 30 points, almost 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. This is before LeBron got there. So it's different to get a number 2 that's going to help you win championships as a rookie, and then have to wait for him to develop. And I'm being nice and saying wait for him to develop, because I give Michael Jordan a little bit of credit for developing Scottie Pippen, but I'm not going to make that argument today. Wait for Scottie Pippen to develop before you go out and have somebody that's ready to go to battle with you. That's different for letting a guy ascend into an all-star superstar, win a championship, and then you join him and say, okay, now you're in my number 2. That's very different. You already coming and finding an established number 1 to be your Scottie Pippen, right? And then you see in 2010 is when he joined, and that's how that went, right? Then you fast forward to 2014 or 2013, when the last year in Miami, the same age Scottie Pippen was when Jordan won his last championship with him, when he had only played 44 games that season. D Wade's having the same type of deal. He only played 54 games that season. He's 32, same age as Scottie Pippen was. Body is breaking down. Instead of LeBron saying, nope, I'm going to ride with my Scottie Pippen until the wheels fall off, he looked over at his old Cleveland franchise and said, it's a great player in Kyrie Irving over there who I want to go play with. Now I get to get a younger number 2 instead of having a 32-year-old number 2 that only played 54 games last season. I'm going to switch up and go and play with a 22-year-old who's already an all-star, who's already established, who's averaging 20 plus points. By the way, his second season, he was a 22 point game, 22 point per game average, which is the best statistical year that Scottie Pippen ever had. 22 was his high, right? Here it is. This young guy is a second year player, is averaging 22, right? LeBron joins him. Now he has a younger number 2, right? He's ready to go to battle with him. He's already established. He don't have to wait for him to develop. He already there. He already ready, right? Then he does it again. When Kyrie leaves him, he's able to go to LA and get another number 2 who's already established as an all-star, as a number 1 franchise player, and you're able to get him and him be your Scottie Pippen. So I'm just explaining the difference between getting a number 2 as a rookie, developing him, playing with him your whole career, even when he's old and breaking down, you still stick with him, versus a guy who skips the grind of developing a number 2. He's going and he's handpicking already established number 2s, and then when it's time for them to start breaking down physically, he's able to jump ship and pick a younger number 2 franchises in a row. And remember, not only did he get established number 2s, he got established number 3s as well. He got Bosh with Miami, and he got Kevin Love with Cleveland. So I mean, it's just a different grind for how Jordan stuck with Pippen all those years, and how LeBron is able to switch up his number 2s every 4 years. Like you change clothes or something like that. It's just a different grind. And I just wanted to get on here and say that, man. And anybody who think Michael Jordan didn't win without Pippen, nobody won without Pippen. Everyone had a Scottie Pippen. But the difference is Michael Jordan had a tougher grind because his Scottie Pippen got older, and LeBron James Scottie Pippen got younger every 4 years, right? So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Michael Jordan's grind was harder with a rookie Scottie Pippen turning into an aging Scottie Pippen, or do you think LeBron James had the tougher go of it by switching his Scottie Pippen every 3 to 4 years? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And I'll see you next time.